Hi, my name is Alex Fioroni, and welcome to my channel. I am so excited to team up with Healthy Power TV and be your nutrition chef. And before I go further into the realms of nutrition and take you on a path that I think is going to enlighten you and make you healthier and stronger, I want you to get to know me. I'm not sure if a lot of you out there have seen my videos or seen me on Fox News and NBC or some of the celebrities that I've worked with, but I am more than excited to take this one day at a time and make sure that health and nutrition is going to be part of your life. Well, for you guys to get to know who the nutrition chef is, I have to take you back to when I was probably 2 or 3 years old, but I won't have to go all the way back there and run you through my whole life. But I will give you bits and pieces of information that you'll be able to put together and see why I'm so passionate about what I've chosen to do in my career. Alright, so to get to know the nutrition chef, you have to go back way to a small town in Canada. So if you hear the about once in a while I'm talking, you'll know why. I'm a Canuck. So, yes, I love hockey. I played hockey from the age of 2 all the way to the age of 17. And even though I'm 6'2", 230, yes, I was a goalie. It's hard to believe. Yes, big goalie. I loved being in the spotlight. I loved the fact that I had all the pressure, all the weight of the team was on me. If I made a mistake, everybody saw it. I like that pressure. And you get to know me as I do my show, that I'm really fun and exciting, but when it's time to be serious and conquer, that's me. And that's probably why I chose that position in hockey. So I grew up in a lot of small schools, and the other thing too is I moved around a lot. I wasn't out of school for more than 2 years. And it would be those transitional periods too when you'd be making really good friends and you'd have to move on. Grade 5, 6, then I had to move somewhere else, and I had grade 6, 7, move somewhere else, grade 9, 10, move again, and then grade 10, 11, finally, 12, I graduated in Calgary, Alberta. So there's a lot of unstableness, and that's my whole point and I know there's a lot of kids out there and a lot of other people that can relate to that, growing up. And I think when you're growing up and you have a lot of unstableness, we're all looking for things to hold on to that's going to help us get through that identity crisis of trying to figure out what we want to be in life, right? At the end of the day, I have teenagers now, 3 of them. So I know exactly what it's like, and it's so great for me to be able to coach these young kids because I didn't have that. And so not having it and then choosing to be such a passionate person like I am, I'm able to really give them what I never had, which is pretty awesome. And then basically what happened is I was playing hockey and then football, basketball, volleyball. I was the kind of kid that whatever sport you put me in, I was awesome. But not having, a father to mentor me and to come watch my games, do all that stuff that is really fun, stuff that I love to do nowadays with my kids, it kind of made me not believe in myself too much. I wasn't sure which direction to take when it came to sports. And then right around 17, 18, I said, you know what, I'm gonna choose a sport and I'm just gonna go right to the top with it. And I chose football. Out of all the sports, after playing hockey for 10 years, being a great goalie, I ended up choosing football. I got really hooked on being a linebacker and the whole physical contact. I think that's probably why, because a goalie doesn't get any contact, so I had to sit there in the goalie crease and watch everybody else have fun while I'm sitting there, just taking shots in the head with rubber pucks. So maybe that's why I chose football. So I wanted to deliver the pain. And then what happened, at 19 years old, I ended up getting in a really bad injury, my sternum clavicula. A lot of people hurt their collarbone. I actually hurt my sternum clavicula, and I was not able to play for 2 years. And unfortunately, if everybody knows sports, that's basically the time when you're going to get scouted. You're going to take take it to the next level, whether it's college or other, farm teams and things like that. And so what happened is during this healing process of me healing my body, through physiotherapy, I got really into the whole spiritual side of the fact that we can take an unhealthy body and make it healthy through food and exercise. And then all of a sudden, I just changed my whole mindset. And the idea of being out there to help people just like myself through food and nutrition really excited me. So I went back to school, studied exercise science. Before I even finished my 2-year studies, I ended up starting my own consultation business at the age of 21. I had my own little apartment in Vancouver, British Columbia, where I would, make some herbal tea, put some incense on, and I would have people come in and I would work on them on an individual basis, one-on-one. And I started working with a fitness model. Like back then they had those natural fitness modeling things, that I think now have grown a lot bigger than how big they were back then in Canada, especially because they were not that big back in Canada. And she was working with the person that was helping her with her posing. I was doing her nutrition, and she was one of the top ones in Vancouver. And as they're getting to know me and they see my physique just naturally from working out, they say, Alex, you should do a bodybuilding competition. And, obviously I was really something I've always wanted to do, just never knew how to do it or what direction to go. And they said, there's one coming up in 6 weeks. And then I talked to the professional lady that knows about these bodybuilding competitions and said, well, how long does it take to train for one of these things? And she says 16 weeks. I said, but with the shape that you're already in, because you eat so healthy all the time, you might be able to do it in 8 or 10. And I said, well, it's 6 weeks? She said, yes. So I said, you know what? I'm going to show you I can do it. So in 6 weeks I had to prepare for this. I was 21 years old, and I was going to register in my first natural bodybuilding competition. This one, I placed 4th. I got so... It was such an incredible experience, I can't tell you, because what excited me about this whole next journey in my life was at that point I was consulting people, making them healthy, you know, teaching them all this nutritional expertise, and then all of a sudden I was applying it to my own body. Everything that I was reading and studying and I'm teaching people, it was very fresh knowledge at that young. I was putting it into my own body, and I could not, and my goal was to get in the best shape and the bodybuilder shape without any supplements and no drugs, 100% nutrition. And I did it. But it was a phenomenal experience for me, and it just made me realize that everything that I was coaching and doing and then applying to my body is actually what stepped my company to a whole new level, because everybody that met with me and talked with me not only loved my knowledge and my expertise, but they just looked at me and said, wow, you really know what you're talking about. And I think that's really important. I think when you pick a personal trainer, you know, that was kind of my thing. I said, if someone's going to work with me and I'm teaching them how to be healthy, I have to live and breathe that. And that was that was it for me. I just, from then on, just kept going farther and farther and just wanted to be the nutritionist of the industry, you know, because you go to a gym and you go work out, tons of personal trainers, one dietitian. You know, and nutrition is 90% of the results. So my passion was to be so big that I'll start teaming up with health clubs and personal trainers and have a service that they're able to offer their clients, you know, so that nutrition is something that is a big pillar and that's easy to use, rather than, you know, trying to figure it out on your own. Because at the end of the day, I think what happens with a lot of us is we don't have the time. Well, that's what the Nutrition Chef is here, is to give you that time and to give you that knowledge and to give you, you know, all that years of research development that I've done in 16 years, you're going to get in these next segments that you're about to see on my show. So now that you've had a small, short version of how Alex Fioroni became the Nutrition Chef, I'm going to venture into how I became the man I am today and took it to an even grander level by being a father of not only 1, not 2, not even 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, of 7 children. Yes, I'm a proud husband and father of 7 children. So with that being said, I have 7 mouths to feed, ranging from a 3-year-old to an 18-year-old. So I've come across every obstacle that you can imagine when it comes to nutrition, both with my wife and with my 7 children. And that is where the excitement is going to happen. It was great working with professional athletes. I still love working with them, love working with the celebrities I work with. But at the end of the day, the Nutrition Chef show is going to be about, might be a show of, you know, how to eat as an athlete. Might be a show of how to feed your 7-year-old greens without them tasting it. You know, it might be date night. What should we do? Let's feel good at the end of the day. Let's feel great the next day. You know, our teenagers going through hormonal changes. What foods can help lower the serum levels in their hormones? You know, it's very important stuff, especially 4 girls, 3 boys. I'm outnumbered here, a lot of estrogen, so I got to balance those hormones out with food. You know, so it's going to be really exciting. There's going to be a lot of knowledge. I talk fast sometimes, so you got to keep up with me, because the passion, once it gets unleashed, it's unstoppable. Well, one of the things I like to do on a Saturday morning is get my little kids together and go out and start the weekend with a nice healthy hike. So this next piece you're about to see is something that I feel is motivating, you know, and inspiring. Might be a little funny and corny for some of your teenagers out there, but some of your dads out there that wish they had the time, or wish they sometimes had a big mountain in their backyard to bring their kids and do something fun with. That's exactly what the Nutrition Chef did, and it was all about pre-workout, post-workout, and climbing that mountain and getting to the top. And hope you get to enjoy it. Good morning, everyone. This is the Nutrition Chef. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and I have my 3 kids with me. What is your name?
Patrick.
Your name?
Alyssa.
And your name?
The strong Kate.
Okay, we're gonna see who can get to the top of the hill first. And whoever does gets tokens for Nickel City. So we're gonna show everyone what healthy eating does to, how old are you, Alyssa, again?
9.5.
Hayden's 9 and Patrick is 8. This is how the youth of America should be, right? Let's show them the strength to weight ratio. Ready, set, go. We're about halfway there. Let's go, come on, Alyssa. Alyssa. Let's go, Patrick. Look at Caden, way up there already. My God, he had his wheatgrass this morning. And his beet juice. Woo! Come on, let's go. Good job, Patrick. Caden, it's the first one. To get to the top. Here we go. He's almost there. Right to that white pole, Caden. That's the flag. Hold it high. You are the champion. Woo! Okay, we're working for second place right now. Patrick is in steady front. Alyssa behind. Patrick is going. Alyssa, stop me. Alyssa, don't stop, baby doll. Patrick, come on, all the way to this white, to the flag, buddy. And then you're Rocky. You're the champion. Go, Patrick, go. Right to this white sign.
Patrick, and then you get $3.
Come on.
$3.
For Nickel City. All the games. Hurry. Fit right here. You got to touch the pole. But you have to run. Run and touch the pole, buddy. Run. Run. Hurry. You can do it. We are the champion. Look at that. How do you feel? Tell the camera how it was. How was that run?
That was good.
Was it the hardest thing you ever did in your life?
Yeah, it's good.
But did you finish?
Yeah.
How does it feel finishing? Look it down. Look, buddy. Look. Look what you conquered. Look what you conquered. How does it feel?
Good.
Alyssa, come on.
This feels great.
Run.
Come
Run, sweetheart. Come on, you did it. You didn't give up. You didn't give up. You didn't give up. Oh, beware of dog. Touch it, baby. Yes, we are the champion. How do you feel?
Good.
Do you feel great that you conquered it? Look.
Yes.
Can you see your home?
Yes, I can.
And look where you are. You're the queen. Okay, back down the hill, guys. Let's go.
Oh.
Back down the hill. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed that little glimpse of my little all-stars. You know, it's a video that they always like watching every weekend. You know, it's something that's funny and motivating all at once, and to me, that's really what life is about at the end of the day. But it's not going to end there. You know, I really want you guys to get ready for how much fun this is going to be. There's going to be a lot of action. It's not your average cooking show. I'm not going to be in a kitchen for 20 minutes chopping and putting stuff together. This is going to be something that is going to be where when you leave my show, at the end of it, you're going to want to get in that kitchen and do something. The next show, the nutrition chef's going to get out his binoculars and his seek and destroy pistols, and we're going to be going around, and I'm going to find out somebody that I know without them knowing that I'm coming, and I'm going to be raiding their pantry. We're going to be looking at everything in their pantry and their fridge. I'm going to get in the trash can. I'm going to be throwing anything in there that's got high fructose corn syrup in it, you name it. And then, on top of it though, to leave with the right, sense of humor, I don't want them to be depressed when they leave. I'm going to find all the healthy ingredients that they possibly have, and they better have, or I'll be really upset. And we're going to make something healthy. And I'm going to show you anybody that's watching this, whether you're in your dorm room, you're a single, you're a bachelor, you're married, you can find anything if it's the right ingredients and put something together that the nutrition chef approves of. I want to thank you for being part of this first segment. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did too. I know there wasn't any cooking involved, but I promise you my next shows are going to have a lot of cooking, a lot of fun, most importantly education. And I wanted to give you an insight of my personality so you'll start to put together some of the topics that I'm going to put together that are going to blow your mind away when it comes to nutrition. And again, I want to thank Healthy Power TV for hosting this channel. And remember, feeding you fuels my passion.